Have you ever wondered what happens to the money from big-time crimes? I'm not talking about a few $1,000s stuffed in a briefcase. I'm talking about millions, even billions. How do criminals take all that dirty cash and make it look clean and legitimate? Well, that's the dark art of money laundering. And today we're diving deep into one of the UK's biggest ever cases. Imagine this. You're walking down the street and you see someone carrying a regular-looking shopping bag. You probably wouldn't think twice. But what if that bag was stuffed with over £400,000 in cash? And what if you saw this happen day after day? That's exactly what was happening in this incredible story. This wasn't a movie plot. It was a real-life, multi-billion-pound money laundering operation happening right under everyone's noses. The whole scheme came crashing down thanks to a series of police raids between 2017 and 2020. Officers found cash, and lots of it. We're talking about cash stuffed into suitcases, bags, and even hidden in a secret compartment under a child's bed. In just one raid, they seized over £5 million from a single apartment. That's the largest cash seizure in the history of the Metropolitan Police. In total, they uncovered over £26 million in cash, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. The real scale of this operation was staggering. So how did it all work? It was a surprisingly simple but incredibly effective system. Criminal networks from all over the UK would drop off their illicit cash at a cash house. Think of it as a central collection point. The money would be counted, sometimes using professional cash counting machines, bundled up, and then picked up by a network of couriers. These weren't exactly inconspicuous couriers, though. They were often seen carrying heavy bags, sometimes struggling under the weight, filled with hundreds of thousands of pounds at a time. The cash would then be taken to a different location, a money laundering hub, before being shipped out of the country. The mastermind behind this massive operation was a man named Abdullah Al-Falaiji. He was the founder of a company in Dubai called Omnivest. On the surface, it looked like a legitimate gold trading company. But in reality, it was a front. Al-Falaiji organized an army of couriers to fly cash from London to Dubai. Between November 2019 and October 2020, they made 83 separate trips. Can you guess how much cash they smuggled? Over 100 million pounds. That's more than £100 million in less than a year, all checked in as regular luggage. The couriers were paid a few £1,000s per trip and would get all expenses paid business-class flights to Dubai. They even had a special system. They'd use burner phones to communicate, and the bags were sprayed with coffee or air fresheners to try and fool the sniffer dogs. At the airport, one of these couriers was a woman named Beatrice Orti. She was recruited by her friend, another courier, and ended up making 10 trips herself, smuggling a total of £3.4 million. Another key player was Tara Hanlon, who was caught at Heathrow Airport with 5 suitcases containing nearly £2 million in cash. When questioned, she claimed she was going on a girls' trip, a very, very expensive girls' trip. She was just one of many who got caught up in this web. The sheer scale is hard to comprehend. Prosecutors believe this was just a fraction of the total amount laundered. They estimate the network was responsible for washing at least £100 million every single year for several years. The cash came from all sorts of organized crime, drug trafficking, fraud, you name it. This wasn't just about hiding money. It was about fueling further criminal activity. So who were the other key figures? We have Michelle Clark, who was Al-Falaiji's UK manager. She helped organize the couriers and made sure the cash got from the collection points to the airport. She lived a lavish lifestyle, renting a fancy apartment in a high-end part of London. Then there was the cash collector, a man named Artur Turbalian. He lived in a flat that was one of the main cash houses, where millions of pounds were counted and processed. Imagine living in an apartment where the main job is just counting endless stacks of dirty money. The investigation that brought them down was incredibly complex. It involved surveillance, tracking financial records, and piecing together a puzzle that stretched from the streets of London all the way to Dubai. The evidence was overwhelming. Photos and videos from the couriers' phones showed them posing with huge stacks of cash on business-class flights, living the high life. It was this digital trail that helped seal their fate. In the end, the key players were sentenced. Abdullah Al-Falaiji, the mastermind, was jailed for over 9 years. Michelle Clark, his UK manager, got more than 8 years. Tara Hanlon and Beatrice Orty, the couriers, also received prison sentences. For more individuals involved in the UK side of the operation were recently sentenced as well, bringing the total number of convictions in this network to 16 people. But what does this all mean? This case gives us a rare glimpse into the hidden world of international money laundering. It shows how criminals use seemingly legitimate businesses and ordinary people to move vast sums of illicit money around the globe. The money they launder isn't just numbers on a screen. It's the proceeds of crimes that cause real harm to communities. It funds drug gangs, human trafficking, and all sorts of other destructive activities. The authorities describe this as the biggest money laundering case they'd ever prosecuted. It highlights the constant battle law enforcement faces. For every network they dismantle, another one is likely trying to take its place. These criminal enterprises are sophisticated, and they are constantly adapting their methods. They exploit international travel, financial systems, and even social connections to achieve their goals. It's a stark reminder that crime doesn't just happen in dark alleys. It happens in plain sight, in fancy apartments, on business-class flights, and through seemingly normal companies. The scale of this operation, moving over £100 million in suitcases, is something straight out of a Hollywood movie, but it was all too real. This case is a huge victory for law enforcement. But the war against money laundering is far from over. It's an ongoing, global fight that requires international cooperation and constant vigilance. It's about following the money, no matter how well it's hidden, to dismantle the criminal empires it supports. What do you think about this incredible case? It's mind-boggling to think about the logistics and the sheer audacity of this operation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that are happening all around us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.